Oh, I like it! You seriously got to go and try one of these. Oh, power wheelies! Oh, definitely more fun than the old one, more playful. What else can we say about the new Gsx-S 1000? Very easy to ride, way better than the 2018 model. Would I buy one? Yes, I would. I have to say, I quite like it. I quite like it. Well, hello, and welcome back again. The sun is shining. The weather is relatively warm, kinda. We are currently on our way to Cooper, off to take out the Gsx-S 1000. And we're on the 750, so a good back-to-back test for me anyway, because it could potentially be a bike to replace this one. But well, we'll see. We'll see. As anyone that's been on this channel for a while will know, this is the stalwart of the channel. This bike, and it does hold a place very dear to my heart. So it would have to be something special, I think, to change this. You know, I could do a lot worse than keep this. And I think, like I said in my last video, could do a lot worse than keep this and improve the suspension, replace the fork cartridges, put on a new shock, and call it good. Maybe upgrade the brakes, but to be honest, the brakes on the road are totally fine, so I've got no issues with them at all. So we'll see. So yes, we'll head to Cooper, rendezvous again when we get there. Well then, here we are. New 2021 Gsx-S 1000. Very angular. Faffery. I've already thrown my seat hump on the floor by accident, which is not a good start to the day at all. Right. Ooh. Comfy seat, big wide bars. Right. Feels wide. The bars feel wide on the deal on the 750, but this is a good comparison anyway. So what mode are we in? A mode. Traction control 2. That'll do. Perfect. So ride by wire throttle, of course. So you kind of sit in the bike. It is very comfortable. It's probably not quite as focused position as a 750. There's probably a bit more space on it than that, maybe. Yeah, I think so. The pegs are slightly further forward than the 750. The bike still feels quite light. Actually, I think this feels a bit lighter than the 750. That's the same. It's actually the same weight now. This new one, I think it's 214 kilos or 213, thereabouts. And yeah, but 152 horsepower, as we know. I'm not going to go through all the. I'm not going to rattle off all the specs and stuff, because that's easily found online. But this will be a review purely based on my own experience, having had a 2018 Gsx-S 1000F. This is it here. And also I've had an S1000R, which I sold the Suzuki for, and then I ended up splitting up the S1000R proceeds into the 750 and the motocross bike, which actually I haven't actually got the motocross bike now, but unfortunately, but there we go. So yeah, it actually feels, the balance of the bike feels lovely. Foot peg ratio is absolutely spot on, I have to say. It really is, it's very comfy. As we know, the dash is lifted off the Gsx-S 1000. And honestly, I would say you would maybe have to try and play with the brightness of it in the sunlight here. If anything, it's still not as clear as the LCD display on my 750. If I'm brutally honest, you can see it, but it's not as clear, it's not as sharp. But you know, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, you know, you're not paying premium prices of a Ducati V4S, are you? This is you know, £11,000 on the road, which is a hell of a lot of bike for them, hell of a lot of bike for money, I think. So yeah, you know, I think everything's relative. You've got oh yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, it's not quite as clear as I thought it might be. Wonder if you can get into the settings there and change it. But yeah, we'll get out the open road and we'll see how she's like. But certainly, I would say, yeah, we're in third gear here, 30 mile an hour. There's no, it's direct, but it's not snatchy like the 2018 model was. That would be hunting along, surging backwards and forwards like a good one at this sort of speed. But so far, it's actually alright, and it's instant instant pickup. 30, 40, yeah, it's good. It sounds good. It's got that gruff edge about it, but it is very, very comfortable. I'm really surprised. I mean, obviously I've only been on the bike for, I mean, what, 5 minutes, but yeah, we'll looking forward to getting out on the road and seeing what it's like. It's a bit like a Honda in some respects. That you know, you just jump on it and it just feels right for your size. Everything just feels exactly what it should do. It's the same switch gear as what's off the 750 on the left hand side of the handlebar. Two-way start button, which is a bit different to mine. It was just a press start, but this has actually got a rocker. I've actually got a rocker switch on it, as you can see. Oh yeah. We'll go for a little blast and then we'll have a little wander around it. But the quick shifter is very, very smooth. 4th, 5th, 6th, yeah, we've gone a bit slow really, but down 2 gears again, down to 4th, yeah, down the way, it's very smooth. Yeah, I like it. Mirrors are, been so used to the mirrors on the 750 that I changed those for Puig, but these mirrors look like they're just the exact same ones that's lifted off the 750. Quite big, easy to see out of. A little bit of vibration through them, but they're not bad. Oh yeah, instant. Oh yes, I quite like this. Suspension's not as firm as it is on the 750. It feels a little bit more controlled, not quite as harsh. Yeah, we'll get into some sportier riding in a little while and we'll see for sure. Yeah, I know they've revised the suspension on this. I think they've modified the rear shock. Whether that's just I believe it's the same rear shock, but they've just yeah, tuned it. Yeah, I've got to say the blipper going down the way is lovely. It really is. It's creamy smooth. All feels very easy. And you kind of sit in the bike a little bit, which I kind of quite like. The 750, you kind of sit on top of that, so, to a certain degree. And here we are in first, and it's totally fine. Squeeze past here. Busy. Yeah, gearbox is lovely and smooth as well, as you'd expect off a Suzuki. 2nd to 3rd at 28 mile an hour, no problem. Back down to 2nd. Yeah, it's fine. It really is. And I've got to say, a big shout out to Cooper Motorcycles, because once again their demo bike has got petrol in it. If you're used to taking out bikes for demos, you probably might realise that you don't always get petrol in the bike when you take it out. So certainly up in Aberdeen anyway, you end up having to go to the petrol station first before you go anywhere else. which I have to say is a bit annoying. Yeah, I like this. This is really nice. It's very smooth. Whoop. Is it as much fun as the 750 though? The brakes aren't as good. The initial bite, I would say, is not quite the same. Let's go this way, so I don't turn right and go around a big circle. Oh, it's just quick. It's just quick. It doesn't have the raucous attitude that the 750's got. I think probably because it's a bit more sanitised at the minute. Obviously it's still got a standard exhaust on it, but yeah, now we're up at higher speeds. It's, you know, you've got that instant surge and pickup off the throttle. It's not jerky, it's just responsive, sharp, I think is the best terminology you could use. But it's certainly quick. Oh, BM's off. I don't actually know this road very well. I'll tell you what, he's hiking. Yeah, I don't know the road that well, so I'm going to hang back a little way. Down through the box. Yeah, it's lovely. Very smooth. Blipper is very smooth. You're in the 31-hour limit, you absolute tool. Nickname? Drill bit. No doubt a boring tool. Alright, thank you. Yeah, it's very very nimble. There's certainly the wider bars. You notice the difference. That feels good. Feels good. Different to the last one. Are we gonna? Yeah, we'll nip past here. Oh. Yeah, suspension still feels budget, but it's not. Oh, bit of a wheelie there. Bit of a wheelie there. I tell you what, it's you don't even feel the down changes. It's that quick. It's very easy to ride. Very, very easy to ride. Yeah, I think probably the brakes aren't as good as they are on the 750. They're not quite as sharp. Bearing in mind this does have, my 750's got it's got braided HEL lines on it, which I think obviously make a big difference. But certainly this is, you know, this feels like it would be as good. A set of braided lines, where we change the pads, you probably get a better, more of an initial harder bite to the feel of the brakes. But again, you know, it's semantics really at the end of the day. I mean, you can't directly compare them unless you've got the same setup. So, but certainly so far, yeah, it feels really good, and it's already way better than the 2018 model. Very, very comfortable. Can't believe how comfy it is. Actually, it's the seats definitely an improvement over the 750, without a shadow of a doubt. £7,000. It's a hell of a package, really. I mean, you know, I guess the next bike up would be an S1000R at 14 grand, but another £3,000. I mean, that gives you, what does that give you? Heated grips as standard, cruise control, I'm assuming the new one's got the pit lane limiter on it as well, and the launch control on it. I don't think this has got launch control, but I dare say, given a bit of time, that Woolwich Tuning will come out with all that available, if that's your bag. It'd be good to give this a decent run, because 750 is due to come to the end of its term. So whether I keep it and do it up or change it for something newer, who knows. But this is comfy. It is more comfortable than 750, not quite as cramped. I can only compare it to that. The 1000F that I had, obviously it doesn't have that wind protection, but they're bound to bring out a new F model. It's only a matter of time. Just speaking to the guys there, saying that they're actually sold out now of the Fed model Gsx-S 1000F. So whatever's currently in dealerships now is all that's available. Suzuki don't have any more of them. So Cooper do have a couple in there. They've got a white one and a black and Triton blue, both available. There's not a lot of room to move backwards and forwards, but you don't feel like you need to. Well, the natural position you sit in actually feels very good. It's a bit MT10 to sit on, if I'm honest. When I test rode one of those when I had my 1000F, it's very similar. It's got similarities there for sure. Yeah, it's so much smoother than the old one. You know, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, they were never going to. Suzuki were never going to bring out a model that was inferior to the previous one. It's a refinement process rather than an evolution. A total revolution, that is. I have to say, I quite like it. I quite like it. Now, interestingly, is it as much fun to ride as a 750? Do you feel you can use as much of it? Bit of a fan for a smaller engine where you can use a bit more of the performance, but so far it feels more playful. It's got that little bit of attitude about it. Yeah, wind protection is, yeah, it's no worse than 750 without its screen on, to be fair. Certainly been on worse bikes without a screen on, and I know Suzuki do a screen with this. I think it's a little cowl that sits there. I'll have to have a look, see. But the balance of the bike is lovely. It really is. It steers really nicely. Hello, sir. How do I get it in a B mode? No. For God's sake. Oh, right, you've got to be off the throttle. There you go. You've got to be off the throttle to use the to change the mode. It won't let you if you're still on the throttle. So there we go. So that's it in B mode now. So we'll see what it's like. A was quite responsive, not jerky, not like the 1000, the previous model. Just more responsive. I think it's probably the best word to use. A bit sharper, more instant, but not jerky, not like the old one. It's a bit more civilized than the 750. By comparison, the 750 feels angrier, more mechanical. This is just a bit smoother, a bit more sedate. Call the 750 an angry teenager, whereas this is more of a you know, maturing 21-year-old. Well, compared to mine anyway, of course, because mine's got a full DCAT system and it's got a power commander on it and other bits and pieces, so it's not standard. Power mode B. It's not an awful lot of difference, to be honest, between A and B, really. I'll say if anything, the initial pickup off the throttle is just a little bit softer in B. Yeah, it's no better around there on this than it was on the Hayabusa. Nice, nice. Yeah, you can grip the tank with your legs, but there's not a lot of grip down the side here. You probably want stump grips or something, I would think, if you're riding at a more spirited pace and braking fairly heavily, to just try and brace yourself against the tank a little bit. It's a bit, yeah, my legs kind of sit in between the plastic and the new camo bit on it. I think through town the feeling's better in B mode than it is in A. I would leave A for like open roads and stuff. I think probably if you were commuting, you'd leave it in B mode, in honesty. It's just that little bit softer, not quite as instant. But again, full ride-by-wire throttle now, so yeah, it's going to be a fair bit different to the 750, and of course, so here we are, back at Crow Harbour. What do we think of it? I think it's really good. It's a distinct improvement over the old one. I quite like the shape and the angular restyle of it. Front of it feels wider around the tank, and obviously the bars are wider generally anyway. I think the finish is a slight touch up on the old one. I personally like the restyle of the rear end. I thought the old one around the back end was a bit bulbous, and I think that was a bit of an issue for getting a tail pack or something pinned on the back there. I mean, nobody wants the plough there on the rear end, but obviously for Euro regs, etc. But that's easy sorted. Tail tidy will tidy that up lovely. Exhaust sounds good, as hopefully you've come through on the audio all right. But everyone's going to put on an exhaust on it, or certainly junk the cat box anyway. It's no, I quite like it. My legs sit kind of here on this camo. No, I don't actually mind the camo finish. It's actually alright, but it's quite slidey. You don't get a lot of traction off that. So certainly when you more spirited riding, which I did after the camera cratered, it yeah, you find that it's a bit slippery. You could do with some traction pads on there or something, I think, certainly for track days, to try and support yourself on it. But it's good. It's good. The tyres are great. These Sport Max Road Sport 2s, apparently specifically developed for for this bike. But yeah, I can't fault the tyres at all. LED indicators all around, of course. Yeah, and this is obviously the subframe is a bit. The subframe's new, obviously, with this new bolted on section. I quite like it. I think the winglets, it's obviously just a shout and a nod to MotoGP. Does it need them? No, of course it doesn't. I can't imagine they do anything for stability or performance of the bike. More spirited riding, you do start to see the deficit in the suspension, and you can see it's a little bit budget, but it's not bad, and you are hiking along fairly quickly before you start noticing that the suspension's a bit budget. But for general riding around, it's absolutely fine, really, and probably on track. If you tightened it all up, firmed it all up, it'll probably be fine. I don't have an issue with the wind blast at all. I dare say somebody will make something to go on here to give you a screen. And of course, I guess the one thing is obviously the front headlight, which actually, to be honest, it looks better in the flesh. Although a shout out to Sanjin, who I've been chatting to on a fairly frequent basis around 750s and Gsx-S's and Gsx-Rs. I'll put a picture up of what he thought the headlight looks like, which is this. Which I think was quite. I thought it was very amusing. Very amusing. It is the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I think it's a bit KTM Super Duke at the front. It's got that slight Super Duke-esque look about it. But the fit and finish of the bike, I really quite like. The brakes are good. Yeah, they could be a little bit sharper, and they're not as sharp as they are on the 750. 6,000-7,000 revs, it just takes off. It's like an absolute missile. Yeah, that's where you really notice it. I think with the 750, it starts kind of slowing down a little bit. It's got a bit more edge on top of that, and again and then some. But then again, it's pushing out 40 brake horsepower more than the 750, so not a great surprise. But yeah, I think the front wheels are a bit lighter than the 750 for some reason, because it doesn't seem to want to stay on the ground. But yeah, it's good. It's good. That's what we'll do. While we're here, we'll have a quick look inside this seat unit and have a look to see how much space there is. Now I keep a rag underneath mine, just to clean my helmet. So yeah, there's enough for a rag in there, and that's pretty much it. You're not going to get too much stashed away in there, that's for sure. But it looks very similar to the Gsx-S 1000R, actually. Yeah, so there you go. That's what's underneath the seat. I think bungee wise, you're going to be struggling for bungee points. Oh, okay, there's a hook there to show where you put the front one. If you were going to, you'd have to tie it around the back there, I suppose. The dash is good. Like I say, 7,000 revs and up, and it's just a missile. It's really quick, and that's where you really notice it. On the bumpier roads, the front end gets a bit flighty, I found, compared to the 750. It could obviously just be the extra power that it's got, but you get a bit of a waggle from the bars. It's not a massive issue. It's just an observation. At spirited pace, that's when you notice it. Yeah, I like it. I really do. It's definitely better than the old model. I don't care what anybody says. It's way better. If you already had one, if you already had the old model, would you change it? I guess, yeah. I mean, if you were coming through the end of your term and you were looking to upgrade to a new model, yes, you would. Would you change it just because it's a better bike? I think if you're happy with what you got, and you weren't keen on the front, on the looks of the front of it, then no, you probably wouldn't, especially having spent money on it. If you've put a full exhaust system on your Gsx-S 1000 already, and it's been remapped, and you've done the brakes and you've done the suspension, you've done all that stuff, then no, you wouldn't. If I'm honest, I think the dash on the old one I still prefer. But the old LCD dash, I think, was still clearer and sharper. Personal preference. It's not bad. That's just what I prefer. Yeah, this is obviously a bit more plastic on it, but I do like the angular style of it, and it's nice. So yeah. So there we go. Right, we'll jump on and we'll head back to the dealer. That's lovely, that, isn't it? Whoa. Maybe one day. The more you ride it, the just like every bike, the more comfortable you are with it. Would I buy one? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. The blipper's very good. The blipper's very, very good, actually. You don't even feel it changing down through the box, but when you're not using the clutch. It's brilliant. It's got a good turn of speed for sure. Oh my word. Yes, it's very good. It is very good. So, the question is it better than the Gsx-S 750? Wow. It's faster. Of course it's faster top end. Can you use it? Nah. That's kind of irrelevant, really, I suppose. I don't think the suspension's any better, if I'm brutally honest. I think you both find that this road here is actually quite bumpy, and you do find that that's kind of where the suspension feels a little bit budget. But the little power wheelies off a crest are good fun. I actually give it a handful earlier, and the front end went skyward, and I didn't see the touch control light flashing, and that was on TC1. So I've actually backed it off to 3 because it was quite unexpected, and I nearly got hit in the face. So yeah, you just need to be a bit careful. It's not totally foolproof, But yeah, I actually wasn't expecting, to be honest, that I was just around about, I was about 6,000 revs, and I just closed and whacked up in the throttle, and I wasn't expecting the front wheel to come up quite so quickly as it did. But it's also, you know, it's a bit like the booster, you know, it's a pussycat at low speed, and it's very easy to ride. Yeah, would I change? Front wheels just pouring the air there a little bit. Yeah, I like it, I really do. Would I change the 750 for one? I don't know really. I think maybe the 750 might be more fun on track, just because you can ride it harder. I'm not sure if my abilities would find the limits of this bike. And again, they probably won't find the limits of the 750 either. I'd be very interested to find out what's going on with the F version, because they're bound to bring out another F model, like I was saying earlier. Sounds to me very much like they're going to bring one out. When that will be, who knows? Hopefully in this year. That would be good. That would be good. But yeah, you can see. Going back to the dash, it's easy enough to read. I just prefer the clarity and the simplicity and the cleanliness of the old one. But I do like the blipper, the quick shifter. I think that's really transformed the bike as well. This car is far too close to that learner. I mean, you've got your rev counter, your traction control, speed, water temperature, fuel gauge. You've got your range. You've got your range there, and your trip, etc., etc. as well. So, you know, it shows and does what it needs to. It's a little bit busy, but and it is more fun to ride than the old one, and I think that's really important. I found that you know, although it was 1000cc, it was a little bit, I don't know, a bit sanitised. This has got more attitude, I think. Like I was saying earlier, it's more playful. You know, you feel like you can use a bit more of this one compared to the previous one. It's like a 750 in that respect. You can, you know, you feel like you can use a bit more of what it's got. It encourages you to play with it a bit more. But try to repeat myself too much. It is really comfortable. Bumpy bits there, the suspension just gets a little bit, it gets a bit busy. I mean, if anything, I'd probably say that's probably fairly typical of the suspension on this and on the 750. When the road gets really quite bumpy, as you can see the state of this, little pothole over there. You know, yeah, when the road gets a bit busier and the suspension has to do more, that's when you notice its shortcomings a little bit, but it's not bad. Tyres give lots of confidence. I haven't fought them at all. They haven't stepped out of line once. They haven't moved. They haven't skipped. Yeah, so full credit to the tyres. They're great. Better than the big pothole there as well. Better than the old ones. Oh, power wheelies. I like it. I like it. Well, when we in traction control mode 3, I've not seen it flicker at all yet. This bike just comes alive, absolutely comes alive at 6,000–7,000 revs. The front wheel just clawing for air there again, but the brakes are good. and it sounds good as well. You know, it's you get that good airbox, that good roar from the airbox, and the standard can it's actually not bad at all. But you know, every man and his dog's going to stick an exhaust on this and decat it, full system, customise it, ride it, enjoy it. And I think if anything, this bike being more fun really helps with that. Definitely more fun than the old one, more playful. But it feels good when it's leant over, you know. It's really stable as well in the bends. A lot of mechanical grip. Twist and go approves. You twist and it goes. Sounds great. Don't know how well that's coming through on the camera. Hopefully you can hear that. You nail the throttle. It's quick. I want one. I think I want one. Right. On that note, what can I say? You seriously got to go and try one of these. Save yourself a stupid amount of money and try one of these. It's brilliant. For its price and performance, you're not going to buy better. Comfortable, practical, goes like absolute stink, handles well, stops well. I really can't fault it, to be honest. I really can't. I love it. It's really, really good. So yeah, go and try one if you're a bit skeptical. All I can say is just come out and try one. Swallow your pride in regards to the front end of it. I know the headlight isn't to everyone's taste. But I've got to say, you know what, it's worth overlooking. You can't see it when you sat on the bike anyway, and yeah, it's a fantastic piece of kit, and it's much improved over the old one as far as I'm concerned. It really is. It's great. Thoroughly recommend a test ride. Go and drop into your nearest Suzuki dealer. And yeah, thanks again very much to Cupid Motorcycles for giving me the opportunity to take this out. It's greatly appreciated. They're yeah, they're a good bunch, and yeah, they're well worth giving a shout. Oh, I like this. It's good. Oh, that flipper. Die for, man. Absolutely to die for. Thanks for watching, guys. Ride safe, and we'll catch you on the next video. Absolutely awesome.